what's going on with your family? Torsten T's Guitars. We're going to do everything today but talk about T's Guitars, man. I wanted to share my guitar collection with you and let you know how good or bad we've done over the years. You probably think I got nothing but T's Guitars. Nothing could be further from the truth. I'm going to kind of go over these guitars and tell you what I think, right? What I paid and what they're worth now, things like that, and what they're good for, what they're not. So we'll start with this one. This is my Alvarez. It's a G610 CEAR, and I paid about $500 for this guitar. Okay, and it's a nice little picker. It really is. It's a decent little guitar. It's acoustic electric. I use it to just sit out back and play guitar and whatnot, or if I'm running to the beach or something like that, I'll pretty much take this thing with me. This thing is played quite a few different spots. You know, it's a nice little guitar. I paid $500 for it, new. You know, and that was let's see, what year is this thing? It's 2017, so I paid $500, and I think I got a case with it, so I was in it for like $700 total, and it's worth about $250 now. So $250. And let's see. Okay, so I got a 5420. And this is my Gretsch, and I got to tell you, this thing is just, I walked into the guitar store, I looked at it, it was hanging on the wall, it's got the Bigsby on it, it's got the, you know, just really nice pickups on it. I can't recommend this guitar highly enough. It's a really, really, really good guitar. It's got the meanest, just, it sits out in the living room, and I can play it with or without an amp, you know, if I'm just noodling or something like that. But it's got some just amazing tones for blues. Amazing tones for blues. And it's set up real nice. The action on this thing is real low. Never had to work on the frets at all. It's come perfect. The one thing, the weak spot in this guitar was the input jack right here. Okay, if you push too hard on it, because I had to put a plate on it. Okay, it didn't have a plate on it, and I pushed the input jack right on through the guitar. It's real thin. So that would be the one weakness of this guitar. Other than that, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful guitar. The way it looks, it's a showpiece in my living room. I keep this one in my living room. People walk in, they're like, wow, that's a beautiful guitar. I paid $800 for that new. Today, that's worth about $500. Okay, so a little bit of loss. So we're looking at $250 on the first one and about $300 loss on that one. This guitar right here, this is my Taylor, and this is an 814 CE. I've had it about 2.5 years. It's probably played in about 25 different states, both busking, both gigging. I've gigged it, I've busked it. I played it in trains, planes, in automobiles, you know, bus stations, airports, train stations, probably about 25 states. This guitar actually, this played in my my mother's funeral, you know, at her after the funeral, the service after the funeral. My nephew, he wrote a song for my mom, or played a song for my mom. I think he wrote it. He was a contestant on The Voice, Dominic Haynes, just a very, very, very talented musician, and he fell in love with this guitar. I don't know if my sister bought him one yet, but this guitar will play, man, and it sounds absolutely beautiful. Plugged in, it sounds wonderful. Unplugged, it sounds wonderful. I better stop. I'll play this thing all day, and I do. I play this guitar every single day. The neck feels great on it. There's nothing, absolutely nothing that I have to complain about this guitar. This guitar I paid about $4,000 for when I bought it. It was a gift of my sobriety, and it's a guitar that they'll probably bury me with this thing, man. You know, today it's worth about $3,000. So but I'll never ever get rid of that guitar, so it doesn't really matter, right? Let's see, what else do we got? There we go. So I think everybody needs a 12-string guitar. I love the way 12 strings sound. They sound like if you play alone, playing a 12-string is kind of a cool deal, right? It just is. It's a really cool deal to have a 12 strings. It's a different sound. So the Takini guitars, Takini makes great electronics. Okay, I paid, what did I pay for this thing? I think I paid $700 and change for it. It's probably worth about $500 now. I will say this about this guitar, okay? It's super quiet unplugged, right? Unplugged is just super quiet. I mean, you could hear it, but it's I don't know. It just doesn't have what I like for an acoustic guitar, and it's probably because I'm spoiled with a $4,000 guitar that I picked this thing up and go, oh, I can't hear it. But you know that Taylor one it's an opera. It's an opera guitar, full body. This is a full body guitar too, but it's just quiet. You plug it in, this is the one to play at church, man. I'm telling you, you plug it into anything and it sounds just absolutely beautiful. All right. What else do we got? Okay, where's that one at? Let me grab that guitar real quick. All right, so there is this is a 2019 MIM Ventura. Okay, you can see, look at the fretboard. I play the snot out of this thing. I mean, it's got a really good sound to it. It's a really nice playing guitar. I paid $800 for it, brand new, and I got it set up the way that I like it set up. I floated the trim on it. It's a really nice guitar. It sounds really good. The only thing that I absolutely hate about this guitar, well, hate's a strong word, and pretty much it pisses me off every time I have to do this, but when when I go to set the neck relief on this guitar, the truss rod adjustment is here, and I literally have to loosen the neck and take the strings off and everything like that. So that's the downside of this guitar, and it's probably the only downside of this guitar. That and the value. Okay, so yeah, $800 guitar right now, and I play my guitars. That Taylor over there, it's got a few nicks in it too, and I'm not afraid to you know, they're my nicks. It's part of my story. So this guitar right here, I like it. The only thing I don't like about it is the shellacked neck, because I like to play outside. I play outside. I gig outside a lot, okay? And when I'm doing that, this thing, and I sweat a little bit, you know, and it's just, it gets sticky. It gets sticky. And you can tell I sweat a little bit. Look at the fingerboard. It's dirty. It needs to be cleaned. We'll get around to it. So that's probably one of the reasons that I just, it's not like my go-to guitar or anything like that. It's just, it's a nice guitar. You know, if you can get a used one for about $400, that's about what they're worth too. I think I overpaid $800 for this guitar. I just do. It's not that special. You know, it's kind of one of those deals. But again, nice guitar. Okay. And we'll get to that one, and then this guitar. So here's another Fender that I own, and this is a American Strat, and it's called the American, I'm going to say Special. And the reason that they call it the Special is because it had or has the Texas Special pickups in it, which are bright, and they're great for like chicken picking and things like that. It's a really quick guitar. I put a DiMarzio hot rail in the neck position just because that pickup was a little dark for me. And I bought this guitar used, $1,100. I can't say enough good things about it. And the only downside to this guitar, again, is I play outside a lot, and it's got that shellac neck on it, and it just gets sticky and dirty. But I play this guitar quite often. It sounds real good. I can't take anything away from it. It's still worth today what it's worth when I bought it for $1,100. This is a 2016. Yeah, this is a 2016. And I haven't changed anything on it. Just like I said, you know, I just put the pickup up in here, and that's just for personal choice. Trim's floated on this thing. It stays in tune. I can hang this on the wall, and I do hang it on the wall for 3 or 4 months at a time. It's still in tune by the time that I pick it up. So that's a pretty cool guitar. And again, $1,100 when I got it. It's worth between $9 and $12 now. Here's a nice little guitar that I loved. And I got this one about 3, maybe 4 years ago. Got this was, I believe, a Christmas gift. And this is the Schecter. It's the C6 Elite series, right? And it's got the Schecter pickups in them, and they're not too bright, they're not too dark. So I plugged this guitar, and I'm an old man. I like to play blues, I like to play jazz, I like to play classic rock. This guitar's not for that. It's not. I hate to say it, but it's just not. This is a guitar for a Marshall stack or a Line 6 amp, something like. So anything with distortion on it, this thing just shreds. It's got a really nice cutaway here. Okay, It's got 24 frets, and I want to say the radius on this guitar is probably 15, 16. It's a real flat radius. It's a real wide neck, but it's super, super, super thin. Okay, so I can get up here, and like I'm like 6'5", so I can definitely stretch some frets, right? I can do that, but this is just real easy for me to get up here and play because the cutout's done properly. I can't say anything bad about this guitar. The tuners on this guitar are a little sticky, but they're not too bad at all, and it does stay in tune. I hang these on. This one hangs on the wall, and I don't know why, but I have to down tune it every time I pick it up. I only pick it up when I'm angry and I need to play some heavy metal. So that's one of those deals on that. And really nice guitar. You know, I paid about $300 for it. And or it cost $300. I didn't pay for this guitar. It was a gift, like I said. I got it for $300, and it's still worth $300. So Schecter, good brand, good resale value, not a bad way to go. Limited in what you can play on it, for my tonal preferences, I should say, not for yours. You may get on this thing and say, oh, you can play blues on this thing. It doesn't have that bluesy sound, you know, and I don't think you're going to get that with two humbuckers, the way that this guitar is set up. So moving on to the next one. All right, so this is my little barn find, if you will. I got this guitar. It's a 2010 PDX Tragic 2, okay? And these are, I don't know if they're making them anymore, they're not making them anymore, but this is a very, very, very nice shredding guitar, man. I got to tell you. But here we go with that neck pickup, right? Like I can't even get my pinky up here because it's not cut out. But it's good for anything up to that. I don't really play up there that much anyways. I'm playing metal, you know, I'm playing power chords and things like that, and maybe get into some stuff up here in the 12th fret, maybe the 15th and things like that. So it's really defeats the purpose on it. So the only thing wrong with this guitar is it's got a little tiny chip on the back of the headstock. And when you get pointed guitars with pointed headstocks, you're going to be hard pressed to find one that doesn't have some kind of damage on it, just because they're so easy. And this neck is also it's tilted back, right? So the necks break rather easily on these guitars. It's kind of like an LP, if you will. This is a set neck, right? So it's got active EMGs in it. I'll tell you, I think I paid $50 for this guitar, and when I got it, when I say it was rough, I mean it was rough, bro. All the strings were rusted, all 4 of them. There was only 4 strings on it. They were just nothing but rust. I didn't even have to cut them. I just pulled them and they just broke. The bridge on this thing was horrible. The pickups on it were horrible. The battery compartment, I had to take that out. I had to just totally degunk that. There was dried battery acid and everything in it. I got it for $50. It's probably worth, mint condition, they're worth like $600. This one's probably worth, I've got it up for sale for $400, so about $400. That's kind of what you get with that one. Another one here. Let me grab another one off the wall. All right, so this is a Squire Bullet. I don't know what year it is. Looks like a 2018. I got this in Boston, and it was at a charity auction, and they said it was signed by David Navarro. Now I thought this was just kind of like underneath a gloss, and so I was playing it, and it turns out that I played half the signature off of it, which is fine. You know, I didn't go to the charity auction. Another lady went to the charity auction. And I don't know why she would make up that story, because she sold it to me for $50. So it wasn't like, she was trying to get $500 for something because of the signature. But so I gave her $50 for it. I brought it home. I cleaned it up. It had been sitting on a guitar stand in their living room for years. And this one is made in Indonesia. And I've got to tell you, man, I was really surprised at what a piece of crap this is for something that Fender would put their name on. I'm sorry to say that, but it's a piece of crap. It never stays in tune. I've got to refile these frets every single winter. It's summertime right now, and they're sharp again. I don't play it, and the pickups sound like $2 pickups is what they say. They sound like a toy. It doesn't even really sound like a guitar. This guitar, I'm not saying that all Squires sound like crap. I'm saying this particular guitar, it just sounds like crap, man. Won't stay in tune. Plastic nut on it, you know, it's all over the place. I set the action on it, I set the intonation on it, I've done everything I can to it, and I don't like playing it. It just because it doesn't sound good. It sounds like like a kid's toy. So those I know they retail for 200 bucks. If you pay 200 bucks for a Bullet, good for you. I would never ever spend $200 on one of these. It's not a $200 guitar. I bought it for 50. That's about what it's worth. About 50 bucks, man. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. Doesn't play good, and I can tell you that it's mechanically not good, and tonally it's horrible. So I guess if you got a bunch of effects pedals and you run this thing through it, you could probably get some good tones out of it. But the playability, and if I got to tune a guitar halfway through every song I'm playing, I'm not interested, you know. So we'll pass on that. So all the guitars that I got there, I don't know what they added up to, but I know that I ended up losing probably about, I don't know, $2,300 if you take the what I got and what they're worth now. I didn't make money on anything except for that PDX, and I'll be honest with you, I've had that thing up on Marketplace for probably 6 months, and no, I don't think people know what that PDX is. It's just too old of a guitar, and they can't appreciate what it is. And it's a really nice guitar. I really love it. But other than that, man, that's kind of the deal with it. So, how good did I do? Well, some of these guitars, you know, I lost $1,000 on one, but that's that Taylor guitar, and I really don't care I don't care if somebody told me it was worth $2. I'd say, okay, great, thanks. Have a nice day, because I play the snot out of that guitar. Same with the Takini. You know, I lost a couple $100 on that. Not a big deal. The Schecter, it's got its place. I didn't bond with all these guitars. I didn't bond with them all. That Made in Mexico, the Made in Mexico Fender, I bonded with that. I really liked that guitar when I got it. And I played it a lot, and I still play it every now and again. But you know, I've unfortunately, and fortunately for the same, because I can guarantee you, I've got one of everything that we've ever made in the Tees line, and I guarantee you, I'll never ever lose $2,000 on that. It's impossible, because it didn't cost that much. You know what I'm saying? I think if you get an SPR. That's what, 140, let's say $150, just because I'm not good at math. 150 there. If you get an ST2, that's 160 or 100. We'll say 170. So we're at 220, 270, and you throw in SBH, HD, 270, 250, 500. Yeah, $520. That's what I got. I see these things on Marketplace. There was a SB edition, just discontinued. I think I have one new one left. SB edition on there. That guitar cost $164 new, and the guy put it up on Marketplace. And I watch all of it when people put the Tees guitars up to see what they go for. And, you know, it sold for $125. That's not bad. It's, you know, a year and a half old guitar. You got $125. You probably played it and you lost $50 or $45. It's not bad. You know, $45 on a guitar that you got some enjoyment out of, or frustration out of, depending on what you bought. Anyway, so that's the deal with that. I thought you guys might like to see what else I got instead of just, you know, seeing me playing Tees guitars all day, every day. And I do play Tees guitars every day, but I got to tell you, man, I've got some really nice guitars that I bonded with and that I enjoy playing. And it's not really what's on the headstock. I didn't buy any of those guitars for what's on the headstock. I didn't buy that Taylor for what's on the headstock. I bought it because I picked it up and I fell in love with it. The same thing with the Gretsch. The same thing with the Takini. The same thing with that MIM Fender. You know, all these guitars that I picked up. That PDX, I put that thing in my hand after I cleaned it up, and I was like, this is just a really nice guitar. And I'm not sad that it hasn't sold. I'm really not, because I like to take my aggressions out on that guitar. I plug that thing into my Marshall stack and get to going on it. It's a lot of fun to play. So, hey, just a little information for you guys. I appreciate you hanging in there till now. If you haven't, like, subscribe, and share. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, not Twitter. What else? TikTok, all the other good stuff. And as always, rock on, family.